Hello, everyone, and welcome again to episode 27 of the Diz Unlimited podcast, coming to you live from the studio that dreams built. I'm Rhino, and I'll be leading this Disney conversation today, along with Hannah Anderson and Craig Williams. Little apologies there, getting started a little late, had a little technical difficulty, had a piece of equipment die on us right before we got started, but you want to talk about that? Yeah? I feel like he does. He's in a rage right now.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what, buddy?
We are You brought a freaking slide whistle.
I'm so happy about that.
Well, I guess we're going to try and keep going, I think, here. So before we get started, I want to remind everybody that this and everything that we do here is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, experts at helping you plan the perfect Disney vacation. When you book with them, it costs you nothing extra on your trip, and you help get you help support the channel and all the content that we produce here. So you can head over to dreamsunlimitedtravel.com today to get a free, no obligation quote. And also a big thank you to our Patreon supporters out there. We couldn't do it without you. If you want to learn more about that and how you can get more content from various members of the Diz team, you can head over to patreon.com/DizUnlimited, where we do like our live post show after this today. And I can tell you right now, that one's going to be a doozy.
Oh, it is.
Okay, you got to stop
Buckle
using
up.
that. You're blowing out the mic every single time you do that.
Okay, I'll get real far away then.
Yeah, there you go. Just real quiet, just a little toot.
I don't know what possessed me in the middle of the night to order a slide
That's
whistle
what
from
I was
Amazon.
going to ask you. Yeah.
I was just thinking about it. I think on Will and Grace there was like a reference to it or something, and I was like, that's a funny thing that makes a funny noise. And I was like, I don't know. Brings me a little bit of happiness.
It brought me a lot of happiness. I've joked about getting a cowbell, and that was my sign, too.
Okay, so
Next week.
I was waiting to ask you about how the cruise was, and I was going to be like, oh, did Owen fall down at all? And then I was going to do the woo when you told me that story, but it felt more appropriate for the start. But how was your cruise since you abandoned us last week for that?
Yeah, I know. Well, you guys, I was kind of sad because you guys had like all this Disney news to talk about. You ate a buffet twice, which is still less times than I ate at a buffet last week. But yeah, I was on the Wish. It was my first time on that ship, and it was incredible. I kind of went into it with some like preconceived notions. This was my 2-year-old's first cruise, and I loved everything about it. Like, I felt like the Wish was super family friendly. I enjoyed the Frozen show. I enjoyed Worlds of Marvel. The food there.
Was it Spider-Man?
It was, but I kind of liked it. He made the rounds like several times, like got pictures with people. They had like fun music playing. I thought it kind of worked. Like, I wasn't paying super close attention to the storyline, and there were like a bunch of kids dressed up like Spider-Man. Like, the people want to see Spidey. So I thought that was cool. I thought like some of the food was great. Some of the food was okay. There's like coffee bars all over the ship, unlike the other cruise ships. That was great.
Did you, what was that? What's that lounge that like upstairs? Did you get your old fashioned? Did you go to Hook's Bobbery?
So I didn't, but Bentley did.
Okay.
And I don't remember what he got, but he just basically was like, hey, I want a solid classic old fashioned. It was a smoked old fashioned. I don't know any other details about it. Hook's is very popular now. Like, the word is out about that. Like, they are only open certain times a day to get the old fashions, and it was busy when we were there. But we went to Hyperspace Lounge every evening. I tried all the cocktails.
Why did you do that to yourself?
What? Are you slighting Hyperspace?
Oh, I think that space is awful.
What?
The drinks we had there were not good, and just the entire atmosphere and environment, it felt like they had their budget slashed like right before they were getting ready to finish it. It's like, especially when you look at Oga's and then look at everything that opened with the Galactic Star Cruiser, and then Hyperspace Lounge was like, I guess it's fine for a Disney cruise line. ship, but
See,
not,
I think you guys are Star Cruiser snobs now.
No.
No, I'm making a joke. I'm jealous because I wish I would have gone on the Star Cruiser, and I do see what you're saying. Like there weren't like as many like little details, I guess. But I mean, the jumping to hyperspace I thought was super cool. Also for a toddler, it was like kind of built-in entertainment. So I mean, we weren't in there for like long stretches of time, but no, I tried every single cocktail and beer on that menu. And
you get the $5,000 one?
Well, okay, I lied. No, I didn't get. There was a $400 one and a $5,000 one. I did not get those, obviously. But no, I thought they were great. They were like weird drinks. They were very unique. But I mean, one thing it's got going above Oga's is that they like make them. They're
What
not
was your favorite one?
Um,
Okay, that's a really good point, though. They hand make them on the ship versus at Oga's, they're on a tap. So,
right.
yeah.
Although, man, those like bubble wands that they have for cocktails now, they are all about those.
Especially on that ship.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, it's fun. People like it, but I was like, all right, we get it. I'm trying to remember what my favorite one was. I thought they were all pretty good, but they were weird, I can't remember the names now, so I'm no help. I'm the worst travel agent ever. But that's why you got to go in there and you got to try all of them. But no, we had a great time. Cruising with a toddler, it's a whole different thing. So I only got to go to the Quiet Cove area once. I liked it, like that infinity pool. I didn't watch the shows in the evening. I didn't see the fireworks. Not mad about it. So had a good time. I'm ready to cruise again. And I love that wish. I do. Excited for the treasure. And that's all I have to say about that.
I was going to let you get to your catchphrase there. There was a line written in here that I left in because I thought it was kind of funny, but now I don't really want to read it. It's the
have to.
I'll tell you what's not going to be fun this week's show. Just kidding. It's always fun. Well, except this week. But seriously, no fun will be had.
I actually did write that in, obviously, a while before we, earlier today when I was trying to punch up the script a little bit, I threw that in there because I was like, you know what, let me just be a little bit self-deprecating. And then this ended up being an absolute disaster for everyone who watched live. This will be one where, I'm going to have to do some post-production work on it. So I just, because I can't let it just stand and look as awful as that entire intro was. Man, that's not even a perfectionist. It's just like, hey, I hate it being like right off the bat. It's like, well, we obviously had massive technical failures with trying to get this off the ground to begin with. And then we got it running and then more technical failure and then another round of that. And then when it's all said and done, it's like, this was a mess, but hopefully we'll make up with it with entertaining conversation.
Yeah.
And
I'm having a great time and we're still doing it, like we're still live. We're still here. So you're doing a good thing, Craig.
I don't know if I'd agree with that. So I'm ready to get on to the Disney.
Let's do it. That's your cue.
Are we going to talk about Disney today?
Maybe.
Oh, no, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Anyway, moving on from that sour note, some news. First up in the news, Disneyland isn't the only park who gets to celebrate Tiana's Bayou adventure with 2 new gift shops. Walt Disney World is getting in on the action as well with the Critter Co-op and Tiana's Bayou General. The Critter Co-op is taking over the former spot of the Briar Patch, and Tiana's Bayou General is taking over Splashdown Gifts. House rules for the Critter Co-op, you ask? Well, number 1, all critters welcome. Number 2, there's no such thing as a wrong note, musical or bank or otherwise. Number 3, dress code, swap casual, especially on Fridays.
That's my attire all the time.
Wow. Well, that's it. I don't know what else to say about that. Hopefully, I'm assuming this is where you're going to find those plushes of those adorable critters. Hear how I say it, critter, and, other fun Princess and the Frog and Tiana themed things. Maybe you'll be able to buy where were we? And they were selling the beignet mix.
Oh, French Quarter.
Yeah.
Coeur d'Alene's French Quarter.
I have a feeling we'll find it in one of those shops as well.
Yeah. obviously new shops, that's always a good thing. I am wondering about the sustainability of 2 shops. Like, it has me intrigued and excited that maybe there'll be a lot of merchandise for Tiana's Bayou adventure, but like 2 stores, I'm happy that they're making sure that there's enough room for all this stuff. And obviously, like, they had the space for what used to be the Briar Patch, like kind of right there. So why not utilize it? And you have to have a photo spot at the end.
Yeah.
And so you need the gift shop, the exit store. But it's like, is there really going to be that much merchandise? Or is it just going to be a thing where after so much time, it's just going to be more standard Disney merch that you can find in a million other places shoved in there because they stop making Tiana's Bayou Adventure stuff?
I feel like it's going to be a little bit of both. Like the Tiana's General Store, like that, you know, is mostly the photos you could purchase, and they used to have just like towels and stuff in case you got wet on the ride. So like there wasn't a whole lot of merch in there. It was kind of like a small area. So I see that being like specific to the attraction maybe. And then the Critter Co-op, I see that maybe just being the plushes. I was careful. I see that being the plushes, and then maybe just other, like you were saying, Craig, like other Disney plushes and stuff. Because I feel like I don't remember that ever I don't remember that ever really having Splash Mountain merchandise in the past. Like, I remember it being like general Disney swag. So I am excited about more Tiana stuff. Like, there have been a couple of like Tiana Princess and the Frog merch lines, and I feel like they've gone away quietly recently. So I hope they're kind of like going to hit us with, you know, new versions. I don't know if I'm jumping ahead, but did you guys see one of the Walt Disney World ambassadors had a sneak peek of some of the merch?
No.
Yeah, she went to the Cherry Blossom Parade in DC. Yeah, and she had on a Tiana's Bayou Adventure t-shirt.
Oh, I did
and
see
ears.
that. The white one, and somebody made a comment where they're like, oh, a white t-shirt for a water ride. And I was just like, get over yourself, first of all. Second of all, thank God, finally, white shirts. I'm so tired of black shirts. I got 2 corgis. I don't need dog hair on everything.
I mean,
Love those babies.
Is anyone actually buying the shirt and then going to go on the ride? Like, that's
You
You buy
that
it
would
because
be
you
like,
get wet when you get off and you get wet and you buy a new shirt.
exactly. Like, that would be like going to a concert, buying the shirt for the band that you're seeing, and like putting it on right away. It's like,
Okay,
you
but
do
didn't already
Some of
come
us
dressed.
Do that.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was saying. Yeah,
I did do that for a Muse concert because I really liked the shirt.
I mean, I understand. Okay, no, I don't understand it, actually. You came, especially with you, because I know you spent hours getting dressed and ready in the perfect outfit to show up at that concert for. So then to be like, call an audible
Just to put on a
and be
t-shirt.
like, let me buy a t-shirt from here and put it on right away. That's what I'm going to do.
I think it was because I was wearing an older Muse shirt and I had gained weight. So I was like, oh, yay, I can finally, like, cracking open a Pillsbury Doughboy crescent roll. I could finally expand.
I mean, that's another party foul. You don't wear the concert tee to a concert
running
unless
a
it's
race.
like
I think no,
unless it's vintage.
no.
Okay.
I think. Do you wear Disney World shirts at Disney World? Do you wear Disneyland shirts at Disneyland? Do you wear?
I do both, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not off for me. Not often though.
Okay.
I mean, I wear Disney inspired stuff, but usually the only times I am wearing specific stuff to the parks is like if we have a press event at Epcot, then I'll actually throw on one of my Epcot shirts. But now that my closet is literally just full of Roosevelt's shirts.
What? We've not
I know.
noticed.
Have you not? Now that it's filled with Roosevelt stuff, no, I can say that I don't as much. But if they start making park stuff one day, I'm sure then I will be guilty of that. But I wear more just general stuff. I don't know. I'm not. I don't. See
Well,
the
let me
need to
ask
wear
you guys this: do you wear the race shirts the day of the race?
Oh, that's a good example.
You know, before I didn't, but
I
then,
I didn't either until that Disneyland half. I had to wear the long sleeve shirt.
Yeah, and I did it for that because we knew we wanted to cut down on how much crap we were bringing. So it's like, well, if they're giving us shirts that are perfect for races, let's just wear them.
Nothing takes up
for
more
it,
room
but-
than a running shirt.
I'm
just messing with you.
When you're traveling with a baby,
I was
you
traveling
learn.
with you. It was a lot.
Yeah.
It was the stress that I imagine you feel when you have to put that stroller in the bag. When we had to do that morning when you guys walked up, I was just like, oh God, oh God, oh God.
That was the first time. Now that we got the smaller, compact stroller that
Put it
fits in
in
a
the-
backpack, that has changed
that was
our entire
August.
world.
I was thinking of August.
The
Yeah.
August,
Right.
the August trip, that was like the
That was the
scariest
first,
thing
right?
where
Yeah.
we had to. They pulled out the car around for us for the rental car, and we're like,
Yeah.
oh no, we need the next size.
Oh, no.
we wouldn't have all gotten in there. So
I
we
relate
keep
to
making
that.
the mistake. We let Rhino bring 2 bags every time. And
I can't help it. I have outfit changes.
That's actually better because I feel like I have tried to shrink down our packing because now traveling with a toddler, he's got, lots of stuff, lots of accessories. But what happens is I end up overpacking the luggage I do bring, and then I'm overweight, and then I end up paying more. So it's like,
I'm just
bring
overweight,
luggage.
Period.
Well,
and then it's not even to do with the airport. But
that would have been the time for the slide whistle.
yeah,
by the way, if you're going
I'm
to.
overweight, period.
We're talking Taco Bell later, right? I'm hungry.
What?
I'm hungry.
Guys, it was a 2-pack. I got a second one in my backpack. So
What? You just now are revealing this.
I haven't literally. I wouldn't even play with it because I was giggling last night, falling asleep. I did one whistle, and both the dogs were like, "What?"
Yeah,
and
I'm sure.
I was like, "Okay." So I took a video of myself, and I was afraid to like play with the noise or anything. So this is a treat for me.
It's a treat for me too.
What was I going to say about packing really quick? Oh, I thought with the Roosevelt stuff, I would be able to pack lighter because I'm like, well, they're so thin and they can fit in a thing. I wear undershirts though, so I'm now bringing twice as many T-shirts. But then sometimes I'm like, well, what if something happens? I just want to wear a T-shirt, so then I have to wear T-shirts. And I'm like, I know. But when we go in May, I've already decided I won't because it's Pixar Fest, so I already know. Okay. It's not about, well, do I want to wear a Star Wars shirt or a Marvel shirt? I'm going to bring only Pixar-related shirts on that one.
And
I think I have
Pixar
enough.
Hotel, so it's all Pixar all the time.
Right. So that's where I'm like, you know what? I think packing is going to be, I'll be able to bring the medium case, but
we'll see.
There will be a second bag. I'm sorry. I don't know what monsters can get on planes without a carry-on.
Oh, I know, right?
What if I ended up on that island from Lost? I want my Switch to be there and work for the first 12 hours.
Spoiler alert if you end up on the island from Lost. Just kidding. I won't spoil it. No. You're dead.
They're not dead. They. Oh my God! I wrote a paper about this. They are not dead the whole time.
Oh no!
I know that's ABC. We'll save that for the after
Hit
show.
us with the
Let's
slide
get back
whistle.
to Disney. But I will say, for people who are just mad that we went on that tangent, we were talking about
I don't care.
The art of wearing shirts in the parks. Well, I mean, they're here, so we should care about them. But we are talking about packing and wearing clothes to the park, so I feel like we justified it.
I am not going to do this game all the time, I've decided. I like the chitter chatter in the beginning of the show because here's the thing. Who gives a crap about us if they don't know a little bit about us and how we operate and how we do? And guess where we get to share that? On this show. I'm sorry. I appreciate the feedback, and that is my perspective on that. And that's for me. And if you don't want me, then that's welcome to everybody else in my life. Okay, well, moving on down the road. Hold on.
Wait, hold on. That was perfect.
We're moving down the road. It's fine. I don't care. We're moving down the road. The Joe Rohde, that is.
Oh, I see.
We're moving on to our weekly Rohde roundup. I wish I had deleted that. Joe Rohde, I said it twice. Disney fans got excited because once again, for Joe's hopeful return to Imagineering when he was spotted at Epcot by Attractions Magazine. Mr. Joe Rohde was on a walking tour with Imagineering and Disney PR, leading many to speculate. However, several sources, including the one and only Scott Gustin, have stated that he was here as part of his mentoring series with current Imagineers. Besides helping with Animal Kingdom's future, do we really want Joe Rohde to officially come back and just take over? I'm going to be honest. I have no idea. But I feel like he's definitely in the vein of that classic sort of Imagineering fame, when you like knew somebody's names and their contributions that they did to the attraction, but I'm not sure that we like moving forward are going to live in that sort of time. Who's the Imagineer, the lady who contributed to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway?
Oh, and
I believe you were talking about Charita Carter.
Yes, she would. She's awesome.
Yeah, and I would say that I find that I know their names less and less these days. Yeah. Her I know for sure, but clearly I just had to ask what her name was, so I know it so well I have to ask. But also, hey, what happened to that Zach Ridley guy?
That is something that we've never been able to really get to the bottom to because it's like he.
Bottom of
my bottom. I hit a button while we were right in the middle. So yeah, he still works for Disney, but like I don't know what he's doing anymore. I don't know if it's just the projects he's now working on are like making sure everything's wrapped up with Epcot. If he's moved on to other projects that aren't as media focused, so he's kind of stepped out of the limelight. But I don't think they're ever going to completely get away from having Imagineers like be that one name. But I think it's actually important that you connect to the humans that are creating these things that we love. Like with the actual thing, like it's only helpful. It adds extra personality to it. Like Animal Kingdom would be impressive as a park, but knowing that it kind of all stemmed from the brain of this one guy who had such a passion for the idea, the concept, conservation, and then brought together these teams to then create such a magnificent place and then expanded over the years. It just adds an extra element to it that I think is kind of what makes Disney fans for life. It will always have casual people who go and say, oh, it's pretty, that don't care about how it all came together. But I feel like the people who come back over and over again are that next level. They wouldn't offer behind the scenes tours if people didn't care to know this stuff. They wouldn't have started the Imagineering series on YouTube that we talked about last week if people weren't thirsty for more information on Imagineering and the people who are creating it. But I love that Joe Rohde can just pop in here and there. I've said it a couple times now. I don't want him to come back. I think he left a good impression, and I think he needs to continue to mentor whoever is coming up in the ranks. But I think the way to get to that next level of Imagineering is by really taking a brand new set of Imagineers and giving them the opportunity to run wild, not to be constrained with maybe what the past 10 years has been with Disney parks and attractions and Imagineering with that. Maybe not even like Joe Rohde's time, because I feel like Joe Rohde was kind of like operating at a different level, the same way like Tony Baxter was before him, where it's like sometimes you get these names where they're able to throw anything out there and it'll stick, and then they get to go crazy with it. And I feel like maybe they need to get back there, but I don't know if necessarily bringing back the people who already did it is the way to go. Try to find that new group, the X-Men, the new class, the first class, right? But
Rhino's like, I've been waiting for this all day.
Shirt, so you're welcome.
They need that guidance. So I'm not saying they shouldn't have someone there that they can lean on and learn from, but I also don't want it to just be this one person and then we're sitting around praying that Joe Rohde lasts another 30 years and keeps everything going, so that way we keep getting these things. Eventually, much like Disney and Bob Iger, eventually the mantle has to be passed and they have to step down. And I think I want that sooner than later for Imagineering. I want them to really step up and see where they can take these parks next. And because if some of the rumors are correct, and like I think Rhino and I touched on some of them last week with like Radiator Springs and stuff like that, like I don't want the parks to literally just become repeats of everywhere.
Yeah,
like
clone.
That's not the step. And granted, that's not happening under someone like Joe Rohde's current leadership. Right. So I'm not going to throw him under the bus. But we also did live through a period of cloned attractions and stuff, and I don't want that to be all the time.
Hey, so Star Wars: Rise of the Resistance.
I was just going to say
Attack of the Clones.
Oh no. Well, I don't want that to happen, but I feel the opposite. Like I do see what you're saying, and I think mentorship is a good role for him. But like he has given us so many great things that I'm like, yeah, I'll take another Joe Rohde attraction. I mean, I think about like what
I don't know about that Pandora River ride.
Well, but it's for me, but I don't resonate with Avatar.
Yeah,
so I'm like
that's my problem is with that attraction is that I think that went a little too deep into the deep end.
Okay,
because
yeah,
I don't think like
do that.
That was very much like look at the world Imagineering can create, but the average guest, I don't know that they get anything out of that attraction. It's just a big. It's pretty and it's a water ride, but 2 hour wait. 1 hour wait.
I know,
no,
but
girl.
Look at what he did with Tower of Terror and Guardians.
I know,
at DCA.
and I
like
love
that,
it.
and that was so. I feel like opposite of like the other projects that he's worked on. And like, I don't know, for me, and I'm sure it's a sentimental, like I'm the one who like just can't ever move on from anything with Disney. But like, I think about when Expedition Everest opened and they like showed all the research they did going into it and even the queue for that attraction. Like for me, that was when I was like, just became more of a parks nerd. Like that was one of those moments where I was like, I just want to know everything about what WDI is doing and how Disney's different. And so I don't know if we get another Joe Rohde attraction, I'm like, we need it and we deserve it at Walt Disney World.
I think my take on Imagineering right now is that I am enjoying this era of like, Craig mentioned that new YouTube series. There was the Imagineering story on Disney Plus, which obviously I guess did well enough that they were like, we need more. I like the idea of like cracking this door open and like, let's just like leave it open and Disney becoming maybe a little bit more public about that sort of that research, that thing. And then the average person does become a little more educated on that sort of aspect of storytelling. So like maybe that's even like a great thing for Joe Rohde to be involved in and
that's
stuff.
Cool.
But I like a diverse amount of voices to be represented. So it's like I don't want everything designed by the same person,
Right. That's right.
Yeah, and I mean, there's obviously not everyone is making it, and sometimes ideas that they come up with never come to fruition.
Right.
So it's not, everything's not all perfect, but I do think more transparency is. I think it's getting more people excited about it. I think you pull other people who might not necessarily be into Disney, you then get them excited because of either the technology behind it or whatever. Like, I don't, Star Wars fans, we know they've been mixed since Disney took over Star Wars, but even I have to imagine there had to be some Star Wars fans that hate Disney with a passion that were still impressed the first time they saw the retractable lightsaber. And like, okay, Disney, did. I feel like even like the most bitter person had to be at least impressed for like 10 seconds.
They'll
never admit it.
And be like,
they'll never admit it. But
cool.
you still have to be like, yeah, that was kind of cool. Or like, there's little moments like that with the floor technology that they've been showing off like that stuff like that. I feel like that gets people more excited. Or like years ago when the Imagineering story debuted, when that was kind of our first look at the Spider-Man animatronic, whatever we want to call it, for out at Avengers Campus, and like that was all these little peeks behind the doors into how it all is getting made. Actually, I think it brings the magic alive in a bigger way. I don't think that old narrative of you can't know too much because it ruins the magic still exists. I think that's kind of gone, and because now we live in worlds where everything is intrusive 24/7. So people actually want more details and they want more information, and they want it. Obviously, some things are confidential and proprietary things. They can't they can't give away everything that they're working on, because then if someone comes in, swoops in before patents are placed and gets stealing, that happens. But I would. What is going on here?
Hello,
Joe Rohde just wants to keep popping
Joe.
up.
He just wants us to see his ear.
I heard what you said, Craig, and I'm back.
And no one brought up my big earring.
I'm not gonna lie. This is the last time when some software pops up and says, "Do you want to install the new update?" I'm hitting install the new update.
Okay.
I'm that person. I'm like, no, I'm good. We can ride this another week.
I think you're right. And I think maybe like Tiana's Bayou is really, look how many critters we know the name of now. Critters that
and their life stories.
Yeah. And and their marriages and how many they've had and the divorce and what, it's crazy.
And we didn't even talk about the latest critters. We tried to spare people with that because...
Well, that's for our new Critter podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Critter County. I'm not going to do it.
Write that down.
All right. Write that down, Patton. Okay. All right. Christmas, wrapping up our discussion of Walt Disney World. I don't know why I wrote Christmas in there, but I felt like I did.
Wait, what?
If I was feeling happy, I was giggling about my stupid whistle. So, Restaurant Marrakesh, get this, officially reopening.
Hey.
Psych! You fell for it. It's becoming a Passholder lounge during the VI Passholder days
be careful.
at Walt Disney World from May 1st through June 18th. There's going to be complimentary snacks and water from noon to 8 p.m. every day, charging stations, and get this, surprise visits from special Disney friends. I imagine this thing is going to be so overrun because the second you tell an annual pass holder something is free, they are going to be
True.
Letting the air out of people's wheelchair wheels, all that sort of stuff, just to crawl over people to get there. I didn't do that. Why?
Well, I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
So it seems
Well, my
like
mother
maybe...
used to teach me how to let the air out of people's tires with a pencil. So
with a pencil, she's got skills.
Pen, pencil, whatever you got on hand. Yeah.
Okay.
She taught me how to pick locks.
I've never owned a wheelchair, but I always assumed that was more of like a hard rubber wheel, not something that contained air.
I bet you know who would know, Joe Rohde.
Was
it's
me
just
getting
something
sad about
I've
not
never
knowing it.
explored. But
Oh
again,
yeah,
I've never
well
owned
tell
one.
it to the ECV that ran over my foot the other day.
Well, that's different from a wheelchair.
Those are like full-on vehicles.
Okay.
They're electric
Yeah.
vehicles.
I apologize for my insensitive joke about letting the air out of people's tires.
It's okay. Now it feels like you're not sorry.
All right, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Wait, haven't they done this before?
Lounges?
Well, yes, but like, have they done a
For an annual
Passholder
pass
one?
holder? Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think, maybe not. Maybe it was, I know they did like the Blue Cross Blue Shield one in there, and
I mean,
Universal
they've,
does
no,
it.
they've done lounges for pass holders
Okay,
because like
so I haven't
before whatchamacallit, the Club 33 in Epcot, before that became Club 33,
Yes.
there were periods where that was used as a pass holder
Disney
lounge
Visa,
and
yeah.
Disney Visa. I maybe it was just Disney Visa.
I think
Might
it's
have just
Disney
been.
Visa. They did, was it, I think it was last year they did the one in Sunshine Seasons. You remember it was like just a section
Yes.
of the
Yes,
quick serve,
exactly.
and they
Thank
gave you
you.
like M&Ms.
Yeah. Well, that's
Wait,
what,
where was that?
The quick service inside the Land Pavilion on the bottom floor.
yeah. They like just kind of sectioned off part of Sunshine Seasons.
Shush,
I
shush, shush, shush.
I know. Say it 4 times fast. You
Shush,
can't.
shush.
Well, here's the good part. Restaurant Marrakesh
Got
is
donkey
a
lips over here.
big space.
Mhm.
Restaurant Marrakesh is a big space, and
tell me.
I'm sorry.
Do it.
I'm concerned what you said was actually offensive, and now I'm like,
Did you not watch
uncomfortable.
Camp Anawana Salute Your Shorts?
Yeah.
I did,
He was
but
called Donkey Lips. Was that not okay?
I mean, probably not. If we did a quick Urban Dictionary search, I'm pretty sure we would
But
find
you
out
didn't
it's
say
not.
it, so it's fine.
So
I didn't write the character's name.
I'm just concerned about it. It really threw me off there for a second.
Okay.
We could tell.
And it's not like I don't think about that character or that show often. I do, always thinking,
Where is
remember that?
Yeah.
Remember when that was our TV growing up? Anywho, Restaurant Marrakesh, Craig Williams once stated, it's a big space. So I don't know. I don't know if they'll have any issues with it. Like in terms of if it's like one of
I've
those
only
things
been there
where you
once.
walk in and
Never been.
if you walk in and like it's as Hannah described, if it's like a bag of M&Ms just sitting out on a table or something, like
Or just
Teresa
reaches
won't.
in.
Teresa won't leave, but like
I mean, I'm
that's
gonna
gonna be
take
one of
the
those
M&Ms,
things where I
I'm
walk in
gonna
and
run.
walk out. So
I'm in,
it doesn't matter what character they have in there. There's always something else out there. But I
Shall
would
we wait
rather
to find
just
out?
I would rather Restaurant Marrakesh. Just
Yeah,
Me
reopen
too.
well, that was my
Same.
next
Yeah,
question.
yeah, same.
So you haven't dined there before,
No.
right? Have you dined there before?
Yes, yeah. No, that was one of my favorite restaurants. It opened like my eyes to more that Mediterranean,
Yeah.
Moroccan food that we definitely did not have growing up in Western Pennsylvania.
Oh,
that
yeah.
wasn't
Common
accessible to
Massachusetts?
us. So
Yeah.
like that's
Southern
when
Mississippi.
yeah, that was like the first time I discovered like actual like really well made lamb, and I'm like, this is incredible,
Yeah.
and couscous and all of the accoutrements that go
Is
along
that
with it.
who's on your shirt?
Oh yeah,
no,
couscous salami.
Oh, sorry. Oh, okay.
Cusco. Yeah. You're close there. Close. I like that. I appreciate that good humor. If only you would a slide whistle for those kind of moments. But no, I loved
Glad
Restaurant
you mentioned
Marrakesh,
it.
and it's like one of those things now. We have 1900 Park Fair back. We went watch our reviews if you haven't already paid attention to them yet. But now that we have that back, it's like it's Restaurant
Yeah.
Marrakesh.
It's
Why
funny.
won't it just open?
I feel
Right.
like you brought, I don't know if you did it in the video or we were just talking to people that had said hello to us, but you did bring up where you're like, well, I almost got everything back. Now just at Restaurant Marrakesh, and now this.
Disney's like you get a lounge with M&Ms.
It's crazy. It is crazy because I had only eaten there once, but it was really good. And it's one of those things where you're like, oh man, I wish I'd gone again. But I went so close, I think, before everything like closed. So
yeah,
it's a shame.
Well, I've never been, so I'm really missing out.
Yeah, I think that it's I feel like they always struggle with Spice Road Table to have that restaurant filled and enjoyed, except for like busier times of the year. And then it's but like, it's not uncommon to walk past Spice Road Table and see the patio just half empty with maybe even only like a table or two being used. So justifiably, do they need two restaurants open in that land when they can't even fill up the one that's like a beautiful scene right out in front of the water?
And they got the
probably
hummus fries.
not. And there's good food there too.
Is, yeah.
So I get it from that perspective, but at the same time too, I mean Marrakesh offered a different menu, a different type of environment, and I feel like it's still both restaurants justified being there.
Right.
And I just feel like it's a big hole that they need to fill with food and people.
I'm not going to play the slide whistle for that one.
Yeah, I set that one up too much. Yeah.
Well, because I also want to update you on Donkey Lips. Apparently, our chat, this is the beauty of chat. Thank you, everybody out there. It is, in Urban Dictionary, it only references the show.
Okay, good.
So we're
all right.
Okay. Well, what's interesting, sorry, I even wrote it in my notes and I didn't say it because I was busy with my slide whistle. Disneyland has, has their Magic Key Terrace, like their dining, their exclusive dining location. Is it good? No. But they have it, and boy is it expensive. But I actually am curious if it changed up a little bit at all.
Yeah,
so
that's but the greatest part about it is when you go with someone who's a Magic Key holder who doesn't live in California, they really insist on going there because of the exclusivity of it, even when it's not great.
You?
That's me.
That doesn't mean he only did it once, and like the one time that we went, we're like, oh no, this is not good. So we did not go
the foots. The foots.
Yeah, it was like we had the one drink that was like, I believe it was a bourbon-based drink, and then they put like the Fess Parker red wine mixed in it too. That's like, what is going on here?
Didn't it have like a burned piece of cinnamon in it? But you couldn't taste it because it was supposed to be like the cigar.
Might have, it might have been burnt rosemary, but there was definitely something like that in there. It was a mess, and then the food also wasn't great. We're like, we could be eating lobster nachos right now.
Oh, don't even tempt me with a good time.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Ryan, for your notes, we're not going to tempt Tiana with a good time.
Yeah. Which is, if you want to know, lobster nachos.
Sorry. Sorry. I got an emergency text here. It's not bad news, but anyway, speaking of Big Daddy.
Oh, I was waiting on that.
Out in Disneyland, Fantasmic added 2 showtimes at 9 p.m. and 10 p.m. for its May 24th return. How exciting. Remember, it has been missing in action since the dragon caught fire. And rather than restore the show back to what it was, they're slightly altering now with a new battle scene of Maleficent and Sorcerer Mickey, as well as the return of the Peter Pan segment instead of Captain Jack Sparrow, which I'm excited for because I never saw that one. But also, I know there were a lot of points made that like Pirates is the only section of Fantasmic that was based on a live action property, so it didn't really make sense. But I'm just hoping that they keep the music the same because my favorite part of that is the Pink Elephants like EDM breakdown. It's actually my ringtone on my phone.
I can't see why they wouldn't leave it the same, because like it was one of those things with both Pirates of the Caribbean and with Peter Pan, like there was a hard stop moment before it cut into those sequences because spoiler alert, you haven't seen the show, Hannah, as you said,
Greg, and you like point that out now because it's the most embarrassing thing about me.
No, it's not. I mean, you can't help it that you haven't had a chance to see it. They really like
that's not what I said before the show.
They kind of kick off. Well, we don't talk about that. That's the before the show talk that people only in the $150 Patreon tier get to see.
Oh,
that's a joke. We don't do that. I would never be able to justify that. So you can hear us stressed out and me cursing nonstop because nothing's working. Oh, good lord.
I'm working on the low notes. I'll stop. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry to the after show people who are going to hear it nonstop.
So to help alleviate Rhino's concerns with that, it basically all the music comes to a stop, and then you hear the cannon fire off, and that's kind of what
jumps.
It kind of like starts it off in a big way. So I think they'll be able to still work with everything that was before.
The cannon was the cannon not part of the Peter Pan part?
No, it was. It was part of the
okay.
Peter
So
Pan.
it was always part of that part.
Yeah.
Okay.
You always like with that one, it would go to like really quiet, and then you would hear the go off, and then it's actually really, really good. You're going to really enjoy it when you get to see it one day after May 24th.
June. I'm going for the Pride night.
That's
I got my
right.
tickets, so I'm going both of those nights. So I'm going to have to.
That's exciting.
I don't.
Tickets.
Oh no! Wait. Because it's a private party, they're probably not doing Fantasmic those
No.
nights. Oh, no.
No.
Well, I'll have to go in the park on the Wednesday. I'm there, I guess, or maybe the
Good
Monday.
thing
Oh, you've got to do that because Fantasmic, even though we haven't seen this new version, Maleficent was a big deal with the show, and that was one of the biggest selling points out of it. So I don't know.
My guess is she's still just going to go up because she used to go up and get really tall and they'd fight. I'm guessing it's just that, and then she's gone.
I don't know how they're going to
fine.
handle it exactly. I am sure they figured out a way to still make it very entertaining. So and going back to the Peter Pan sequence, I think that was a great decision to really get the show back to a better place. Because in 2017 they didn't ruin it, but there were like Rhino is correct. The Pink Elephants on Parade sequence like that. That definitely, that was one of my favorite parts of original Fantasmic. I think the EDM version is also really awesome too, but they added
full-length song.
They added the annoying Mickey voice in throughout the show. So so it like not like actual dialogue with it. Mickey will just like be running around making random noises, and it's a little.
I have seen
too
the YouTube
much.
video, so I know a little bit. But
Yeah, so I feel like maybe they're kind of finding a happy medium, and then if Maleficent works out well with this new style, bring it back to its former glory.
Well, there's a pretty solid multi-camera. Did I finish that video?
Yeah, I believe you finally did during the pandemic.
A pretty solid multi-camera shoot of the Fantasmic with the Maleficent track. Multi-camera shoot of the Fantasmic that I filmed from the Dream Suite and from like a lower place that is out on our other YouTube channel. You can check that out, youtube.com/www.info.
Yeah, I believe you would type in Fantasmic into the search bar and it would probably pop up.
No. And yeah, if you're on the channel,
are
we the first video on YouTube?
Oh gosh, no, we're not the first.
Don't
video
tell
on
people
YouTube.
to search that way.
No,
then
you can search on the actual channels themselves. You know that, right?
I don't know how to use the internet.
So right at the top where it says like,
it's going to go away.
People
at some point.
people were very confused about like where did our live videos go? That's because they added even more tabs. So you have like the videos, you have shorts, you have live, all the way at the end. Then there's a magnifying glass that you can use to search only videos on that channel.
All the tabs, but no soda. That was terrible. Okay, well, also out in Disneyland, new restaurants are coming to downtown Disney, and they're arriving soon, and I'm pretty psyched about this. So we've got Paseo, Centrico, and Tiendita will all be opening in May, apparently on May 2nd.
Hey.
Taking over the former space of Uva Bar and Catal. The three restaurants will take guests on a multi-sensory journey to the heart of Mexico's first Michelin-starred chef Carlos Gatan's homeland of Huatzuco, Mexico. I probably said that wrong. I apologize. Paseo will be the table service dining with ceviches. Oh, wow. Okay. Sorry. I like Cochinita Pibil, which, if you remember in that Robert Rodriguez movie, is what Johnny Depp eats and then kills the cook because it was too good. Lamb, barbacoa, and more. Centrico will be the courtyard bar with quesadillas, enchiladas, and more. And Tiendita will be a self-ordering to-go restaurant with esquites. Okay, you're speaking my language. Chocolate tacos. Even more. Yep. And more, including breakfast, which is pretty great because I feel like any Disneyland lacks, I feel like in some places in terms of like solid like grab and go breakfasts or just breakfasts in general. I feel like not lacks, but it's not as
They
like
got it
Well,
better.
I think it's kind of a black hole at Disneyland with breakfast, where like if you're going to Disneyland Park, you know you're going to have a good breakfast if you get a breakfast chimichanga,
yes.
or Carnation has a great breakfast if you can take time off to sit down and have breakfast. Jolly Holiday is a solid breakfast spot
Even
as
Red
well.
Rose Tavern's pretty good.
And what Red Rose
was it?
Tavern?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
No, that is pretty good as well
You can get
too.
a Mickey pancake there.
Yeah, and I even like it's not necessarily breakfast, but once the spots open up with like the cheesy garlic pretzel bread.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or just garlic
Yeah.
pretzel bread. That stuff's delicious. For
It
me,
is.
that can be a breakfast item too. So I think Disneyland has enough. California Adventure outside of
Avengers
Campus
Yeah.
doesn't really have
Yeah.
anything good. So if you're doing multiple mornings where you're going to like California Adventure, I would say, maybe once this place opens up, if it's any good, be like, okay, one day we'll do Avengers Campus. And then one day we'll go and try this place. But even I feel like the hotels have better breakfast options than necessarily
Especially the
California
Grand. Yeah, they
Adventure.
do.
But the rest of downtown Disney, I feel like it needed a solid breakfast spot for,
Oh,
a
for
good
sure.
grab and go.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, what excites me too is, I mean, anytime there's more Mexican food added anywhere, I'm all on board. But
Oh, yeah.
that Cochinita Pibil, I did make it once because the Once Upon a Time in Mexico DVD had Robert Rodriguez walking you through how to make it, and he said that he thinks that there should always be like 3 items, like drinks and food items, like that you should always be that you should perfect on how to make. But then whenever someone comes over, you can have a little laminated like sheet and be like, here are your options. So you also keep it on hand to be able to like make it. But
Such service.
it was complicated, and it was very spicy and it was delicious, but it was I was like, I'm not one to put in that type of effort ever again.
It was
more of a
good,
casserole
but
kinda
not at the
girl.
level that you wanted to go back and shoot the chef afterwards.
Yeah, it wasn't. I wasn't. Or he says, "You want me to kill the cook?"
No, it's fine. I'm gonna do it myself on the way. My car's parked out back. anyway.
Yeah. See. Okay. There you go. I do love that movie. Yeah. Anyway, well, Din Tai Fung, a Michelin-awarded restaurant brand from Taiwan, will open in the summer. And 2 new restaurant concepts, a steakhouse restaurant and a barbecue eatery, will be taking over the former home of Tortilla Joe's. Marceline's Confectionery is also being redesigned and reimagined. This just like... first of all, I can't wait for Din Tai Fung because I've heard it's incredible. Our friend Luella is always like, you got to go to the other one. You got to go, So, was there any word
Holy
on the
cow.
Portos?
Well, that's what I was just thinking too.
Not
We're
Portos.
sitting there.
Portillo. Yeah, Portos.
Portos.
Sorry, I always get the 2 mixed up.
Portillo's.
Portillo's is a hot
beef.
dog.
Hot dog.
Beef.
Yeah.
Beef.
I didn't mean to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't
hot
onion.
dog.
I mean, I
Yeah.
think their beef sandwiches are a little bit more well known than just their hot dogs, but
There's
it's
one,
each their
it's
own.
next to Lazy Dog here in 192. I know that.
It's all
That's
okay.
one of them,
And so, yes,
Multiples.
Portillo's beef and then Portos Cuban. So just remember that. But,
Tres Leches.
yes, it is the home of Tres Leches.
My
that-
room Tres Leches cakes that I know.
But once that opens
Get
up
ready,
too,
Hannah.
then you have another breakfast spot.
Okay.
In downtown
Yeah,
Disney.
yeah.
And the
One of the best, too.
Yeah, I know. So good.
You and I
then-
went multiple
I've
times on
never
our
been.
trips now.
Okay.
Yeah, the biggest disappointment is the last time we were out there, we were going to go like one final time. I was going to make a
third?
ride.
Yeah.
I was going to make a drive out for all of us and got there and couldn't even get in the parking lot. It
Oh,
was
wow.
like 4 cars back onto the road. So you had to wait to turn in a dangerous line.
Yeah.
And then I could see the line in like 7 down and backs outside of the building. And then
Wow.
we know from one time that once you're inside the building, if all the down and backs are filled, you're looking at like a 30-minute wait. So I'm like, that has to be an hour
that's
for
crazy.
Portos,
Wow.
which if you can do the order ahead of time, that's fine. But I also I never time it well where I can
Yeah, 'cause you're on
actually do
vacation
that.
and you're traveling. But,
Yeah. But
so when do we know when that's going to open?
No, that's not mentioned in here.
No,
So
Okay.
I just got nervous because I'm like, the fact that it wasn't mentioned, I'm like,
Yeah, you
I
still.
hope something doesn't happen.
I think it's definitely coming. I know that one takes a little bit more work for where it's going. So I think maybe they're trying to focus on this end down by Tortilla Joe's and
Yeah.
and Catal and Uva Bar. That all has been closed now for so long.
Yeah,
And
wow.
I feel like
yeah.
more of a priority to get that up and online and running again, and then
Well, they were pre-existing buildings too, and I think didn't Tai Fung is also a built from the ground up building, if I'm not,
I think
if I'm
so,
not
yeah.
mistaken. But all these things coming, this really does change that sort of landscape for their downtown Disney, and I think makes it a lot stronger of a destination for somebody to go to, especially annual pass or locals.
Right.
And I'm excited because I mean you got to think like I like how much there is above now too, because
Yes.
the brewery that's there, the Ballast Point, that has that second level where you go up there, and now the bringing back or at least from the concept art, it looked like one of these restaurants was like kind of open, and
that's
I don't
the
know.
first one, yes.
Yeah, and it's looking like, I don't know, it's looking like such a cool vibe, a cool lively environment.
Well, and I never really cared for Catal. I went there like once or twice maybe over the years. We always just preferred Uva Bar because
Right,
you
yeah.
were
I never ate
right
Uva
down
Bar.
the
Yeah,
mix
you're right.
and
Yeah.
everything. Like that was the place to kind of sit and relax. And
I feel like it was always busy too. I guess just location. It just
yeah. Oh
drew
no,
people in.
there's plenty of times where that's where you wanted to go and you couldn't even get a spot at the bar.
Yeah.
It was so filled up. But I think that having that all back, that's going to help out so much, and just in time for them to start Disneyland forward and make everything that's all around an absolute mess.
Yeah.
But for the benefit. And I guess that's a good point too, to retract last week where someone was very nice too to point out, like, in terms of like us talking about it, we're talking still with the potential of, could Disneyland Forward be a new park? And they're like, no, it absolutely isn't going to be a new park. It's going to be just the
Filling in the
additions,
lands of-
filling in extra lands for
space.
Disneyland and Disney California Adventure. And I'm like, hang on. Now, I know when I went to the Disneyland Forward website, I saw where it says a new park, and it absolutely does. But then if you scroll down and see the legend right below it, it then clearly states where this is going to be the Disneyland expansion. This is going to be the Disney California expansion.
Yeah.
All in this. And it's like, wow, I guess my reading comprehension skills suck.
Well, welcome to my life.
Yeah, at least you don't have a master's degree.
No.
Yeah. I use my MBA every day.
Oh, we're all failures.
But we have a good time.
Well, I've mastered the slide whistle, so there's something in
Hey!
life.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Add that
I
to your
just almost pulled the
LinkedIn.
thing out. Well, finally, grab your baguettes, everyone. What'd you call me? Disneyland Paris announced that the Walt Disney Studios Park will be renamed Disney Adventure World with the opening of their World of Frozen Land. The park is going through a lot of changes and recently opened their Avengers Campus in 2022. The entrance area will also be completely changed, and Disney says guests will be transported into a vibrant, contemporary, open-air movie studio before becoming special guests of a glamour film premiere in the heart of Hollywood on a starry night. The covered, although I think they probably said a little French here, the covered immersive entrance that currently is themed to a scene being filmed on Hollywood Boulevard will be replaced with crafted decor that pays homage to historic movie theaters in Hollywood and the industry as a whole. World premiere, the new entrance building will reopen in spring 2025. The park will also include Adventure Way, which is a beautiful promenade surrounded by lush landscapes and themed gardens. In this area, there will be a new Tangled spinning ride and a new restaurant, which is French for restaurant. The bigger question, does this now set a precedent for Disney to rename Disney California Adventure and Disney's Hollywood Studios? I think California Adventure is fine because it is a theme park in California where you have an adventure. Hollywood Studios, though, you think they're going to go for a third rename?
Depends on what
Well,
happens.
I guess technically it'd be the
could.
second rename, the third time, because you name it
This
once
would be-
and then renamed, and then this would be the third.
Technically, it would also be the third time if they renamed California Adventure, because that was Disney's California Adventure and then became Disney California Adventure. It's subtle,
Oh.
but there is a clear difference
That's
between
why
the
I
two.
didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
Neither. Well, Disney hates apostrophes.
That
You
is
heard it here,
true.
folks.
I don't know. It's possible, I mean, especially if they do the things that Hollywood studios that we're hoping they'll do. And this would kind of line up with what they're doing in Paris.
Yeah, I think Disney's Hollywood Studios needs a new name change. I don't want them to lose some of the aspects of Hollywood. Like, I don't.
Me either, because I love
mean,
it.
we're not going to lose the Chinese Theater at this point, and Tower of Terror, I don't think is going to go anywhere anytime soon. And so, yeah, but like the rest of Sunset Boulevard, it doesn't always look the greatest. So I feel like they could do some more with it.
It's a lot of space.
That being said, I love it because, like the area that's supposed to look like the farmer's market, like that, that every now and then, that's a nice spot where I just like to go and sit and be like, oh, I wish I was in California, actually, at the farmer's market in Hollywood. And there's moments like that. Or then when you're standing out looking at the facade for our Carthay Circle, you're like, wow. Yeah. I wish we had Carthay Circle at California Adventure. That would be so much better. So I think they could definitely do more with ours. But, they're arguably the park has gone further and further away from the theme. And while it still includes what is made in Hollywood, it's not a studio's park anymore.
Right.
It's about movies. So while Disney Adventure World does not roll off the tongue and seems a little bit strange, I feel like there is it's better French. Name.
It's French.
Adventure World.
Disney's L'Adventure World.
And if there is anyone who's French who is upset at these atrocious accents, just let us know.
I would like to buy the burger.
So now you're doing Steve Martin.
I'm doubling down.
Okay, wow. I'll do Jean Reno then.
Royale cheese.
And Hannah's just going over to Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
So
we're
we're gonna hit all of the classic French accents here. But California Adventure, here's the thing. Once they added Adventures Campus, is it necessarily in California anymore? Where is Adventures Campus? Like, it's
in California.
I understand it's in California, and in their story, it's, you have an outpost in California, you have an outpost in Paris, you have an outpost in Hong Kong, but really, it could be anywhere. If eventually they take over more of Hollywood Boulevard, or they decide to do something bigger with that space, then you have even less about California. You basically will have the street, like Pixar. I mean, the only argument you could make for Pixar Pier at this point is that there's piers in California, and Pixar originated in California, which I don't know if that's enough of a stretch to keep it in there. And then
I told you it's a theme park in California. And you're on an adventure.
Well, and then also the movie. I mean, I feel like it's kind of like everything Disney does is a movie. So you're like, well, it's all it's all based in Hollywood because they all make
Well, here's the thing: when they took the apostrophe away, that's when it made it a theme park in California. That you're on an adventure. It's not Disney's California Adventure.
Oh, I know.
It changes. It changes that inflection on California.
Oh, I think I'm the one who had to point out the name change to you.
You did, but you didn't know. I've been thinking about it a while.
So no, that's absolutely what it did. But I don't think that. Otherwise, why didn't they just name this one Disney Paris Adventure, or as people had pointed out in our chat, which don't give them any ideas, Disney Florida Adventure?
No, gross.
Well, I mean,
I know, but it's a valid point.
Yeah, if you're going to go that direction, I mean, I don't want Disney Adventure World. I don't want Worlds of Disney.
Disney's American Adventure World.
What? My head hurts. Is that American Adventure inside Disney World?
That's that's the renaming of California Adventure.
I recently realized the pavilion is called the American Adventure. It is not just. I didn't realize
it's not America.
It's not America. It's not the American Pavilion.
Wait, what is it called?
American Adventure.
In
the whole pavilion?
The whole pavilion.
Just the attraction
Nope, it's the whole pavilion.
The attraction is also American Adventure.
Yes.
In American Adventure.
Guess what attraction I've never done?
American Adventure? For real.
Yep.
Sometimes you see a little, you made it halfway and you just need a little close your eyes, a little AC.
I enjoy the show. I've always enjoyed the show. It's on the long side, but I've always said that the best way you can enjoy the show, as like one of the times that I did, is if you go with British tourists who then have a greater appreciation because they're like, you guys take your country way too seriously. Like, this is almost straight propaganda.
And black robes in court.
I believe that's about being proper. It's about being proper towards each other. Respect.
Yeah, it's funny. I went with one of my good British friends, and she was like, "Yeah, this is like, yeah, I have one," and
I don't believe you.
I do. Her name is Joanne. Love you, girl.
Doesn't sound very British.
Joanne. She's never gonna watch us, but yeah, she's like, this is like makes it feel like an obsession. You know, we got like a song about loving in America, and we've got flags and just it's
We're
a
still
lot.
technically brand new, like in the grand scheme of the world.
That's
so.
true. We are new, and they point that out in the show. Actually, just getting started.
I mean, listen, maybe it's on other countries for not having so much pride in themselves. I don't know.
Also, I feel bad about my wig
America.
and robe comment because if someone did ask me to move to the UK, I would do it in a heartbeat. Ireland
Also,
specifically.
I have once worn a wig and a robe. I don't know. What I'm
me
saying.
as well.
Yeah,
I don't-
That's no one's
I don't
business.
think the United Kingdom nor Ireland will take you at this point because you have just fully offended them with your wigs and robes comments. So
Do the Irish wear the wigs and robes?
I don't.
I didn't mean to say it in that weird accent.
Did you?
No, there
just
was
try
not
to
an
do-
intentional accent. I was
I can-
just.
Are you sure?
I can flat out say I have not been prosecuted in either of those.
Excuse
countries.
me. You have not been prosecuted yet.
Oh, good point. Good point.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Well, no, I can say flat out I haven't yet because I haven't also been to either Ireland or the United Kingdom. But
That's a lie. You've been in the airport.
I feel like that aren't
I
airports
count it
sovereign
sometimes.
territory though?
Oh,
Aren't
maybe.
they?
I don't
Like
know.
it's like you're not. I mean, technically, if you go
But you
through
can get a
customs,
souvenir and act like you
are-
went there.
He did. He drank a beer.
Oh, I
There you
didn't drink a
go.
lot. I drank enough beer that I probably
Could have been prosecuted.
Yeah, allegedly.
No, it wasn't that bad, but I did have like a 6-hour layover, and I was, hey, it's if you're there, Guinness is 4%. It goes down so
It's
easy.
juice, basically.
Especially in Ireland, it goes down even easier.
And I mean, I had lots of Irish beef stew and everything that
Ooh.
you wanted for a stereotypical 6-hour layover.
Wow.
In the
Dublin.
airport,
I
You
know,
had
that's
the
what I was
airport
thinking.
version of it. Yuck.
Yikes.
I didn't book the flights.
I know.
I can't choose where I ended up. I can't help that they put me on Aer Lingus.
That's how he got to. That's how he got to. I mean, it's better than Ryanair. They make you pay for your like flotation device. I couldn't remember the word.
was
So
Do you want your life raft?
Yeah.
that'll be 50 cents.
You're right. No cash.
Yeah, you have to, throw in a coin before they allow you on the on your actual life-saving devices.
Rachel brought up, if you want to laugh, Google Obama petrol station Ireland. Girl, I've been there and I ate there. And it was
I was going to
wonderful.
say, I just saw it because I believe you reposted something about it, or someone. Oh, Nicole.
I was
posted
like,
the
yeah, I
picture.
was on the trip with multiple
Yeah.
people, but yeah.
Yeah, funny stuff. And fun fact, everyone always asks us with the overseas Disney parks, taking it back to Disneyland Paris, can you book it? I can actually confirm we do have an agent who books Disneyland Paris. So
It's not me.
it's not Anna.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. It is still Sam, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. It's like, I just haven't seen Sam in like
Yeah.
I think
She
we
lives
call
across
it
years,
pond.
8 years.
Lay
Yeah.
Sam.
What?
Le Sam.
She is from the United Kingdom.
Just do the whistle. Yeah.
She's not, if you're wondering if she's a French agent, no, she is not.
Bonjour.
But
Okay.
Dreams
That's
Unlimited
our
Travel,
whistle. We only have enough time.
Dreams Unlimited Travel might be looking for their first French agent. I don't know how that works, but you know what? John at Dreams Unlimited Travel.
Well, I think that's it. I've exhausted this whistle, and we've got no more news. So that's what they
For
call a wrap, folks. That's the news for this week. When you're booking your next, just said it. I mean, basically, when you're booking your next Disneyland Paris, Disney
Sounds nice.
California Adventure.
Wait, you're only booking Disney California Adventure?
Exclusively.
You're like,
Yeah,
well, the Diz
yeah.
only books Disney California Adventure. They don't book Disneyland.
Right.
Okay.
And if you
Yeah,
call it
no, yeah.
Disney's California Adventure, we'll cancel your
Yeah.
yeah, but like, that doesn't exist anymore. We can't book that for
Right.
you.
Sorry. But any Disneyland, Walt Disney World, Disney Cruise Line, anything like that, dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Again, that helps us helps keep the lights on, and hopefully that'll help us get some new little equipment pieces we might need.
Hey, yeah, well, we definitely need some out of that. Apparently, we have multiple agents who can book Disneyland Paris. Someone's in here, a Purple Brad. I'm not sure which agent that is, but
He's
or if
not
they're a
calling
client.
them that name. That is their screen name.
Yeah, I don't know if that's one of our agents or a client that's
Just
booked
like-
through a different agent, but We learn something new every day.
I know
Hannah
Fiona's
didn't
like-
even know.
I know. I didn't know because I don't book it. So
There's just some
I wish
purple
I
brat
did.
in here that's saying they can.
Right. Well.
I just assumed that agents don't watch us anymore, if they ever did.
I can't. Well,
I watch us.
I can't answer that, but what I can answer is that, yeah, we're going to have a Patreon after show today.
Ooh, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, patreon.com/Diz Unlimited if you want to learn more about that and other great perks and benefits that we have over there for the different tiers. That one for the post show is the $5 and up tier. So hopefully we'll see you all over there. Some fun conversations going to be had and a lot of swearing on Craig's app. If you are watching this video on YouTube, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, click that little bell, and you're going to get notified whenever we do some fun videos or anything like that. And then, of course, if you are listening out there, thank you for listening. And we get a second, hey, if you want to rate and review this podcast, that'd be swell as well. If you made it this far into the show, wow, good for you. I don't know how you did it because I barely did. You get to hear this new weekly sign-off thing that we're doing. So those of you that make it this far, you know about this. And this week's was submitted by Janine Tai Tran. And I'm going to do it in my best Steven Tyler voice now.
Oh.
Dream out! I can't. It was awful. Again,
bad.
Janine Tai Tran, thank you. I hated that. We'll see you next week with another show. But for now,
Dream
yummy,
on.
yummy. Hannah, you ruined it.
Oh.